94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city. Juan Castillo with you. This is the Electric Drum, and it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me today Gary Moore Jr., scholar athlete, straight out of New Haven. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well, very well. So before we get into all the accolades that you received lately and these great news about what school you're going to, let's get into your life. Talk to me about your early years living here in the city.
Well, I used to live in East Haven, but I moved to New Haven seventh grade so that because my parents wanted me over at Hill House so that they could help coach me.
Right.
Um, Came to Hill House. It's been real good, a real good experience. Mostly came here because of the PAP program. My parents wanted to make sure that they keep an eye on me and stuff.
Right.
But it's been a real good experience.
Yeah, and of course, just to let folks know, Gary Moore and his lovely wife, Gary Moore Jr.'s parents, and they are Hill House High School track coaches, and just wanted to get that out there. So let's talk about those early years. Who were some of your mentors besides your mom and your dad?
Daryl Brown, Ricky Barrett, and Donald McCauley. My dad actually mentioned them before, but they were kind of like the big brothers to me
Yeah.
when I was younger, always having me over, watching me and my sister when we were younger. So those are definitely some guys that I look up to.
So let's talk about track first, right? When did you first realize that's something that you wanted to do?
Or I'd been doing track all my life, but early on, it actually wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was more so my parents' vision for me. But I think freshman year was probably when I started to see that I'm actually pretty good at track and that it could be something that could take me to the next level.
Talk about your disciplines. What do you do in track?
I'm a thrower and a runner. I kind of do everything, a little bit everything, but I'm mostly just a thrower.
Okay, and tell us, what do you throw? The hammer or the what do you throw?
I do all the throwing events, so shot
Okay.
put, discus, hammer, weight throw, jab,
Okay.
all that stuff.
All right. So tell me, how did you get into the throwing events? I mean, was it something that you kind of like, hey, let me try that, or somebody guided you towards that?
So my dad was a decathlete when he was in high school,
Mhm.
and so he kind of wanted me to take that same path as a decathlete. But I always was like the thrower events, like shot put was my best event in the decathlon. But as I came to high school, my knee started bothering me because growing pains and stuff. So I kind of put like long jump and high jump and those other events down. I started focusing more on throws, and mostly the change mostly happened sophomore year during quarantine.
Okay. All right. And so let's talk about the training that it takes for you to do what you do. Talk to me about the training.
There's a lot. All hours of the day. It's not just during practice. Like even
Mhm.
when I go home doing little things, like making sure I watch my videos, go on runs sometimes, do some hills, do workout videos, and little extra things that are gonna help me get better.
Right. So as far as building your body up, right?
Mhm.
Specifically, what areas do you really work with for the disciplines that you do?
I mean, I do all upper body and lower body lifts. I'm trying to currently work on my flexibility. That's actually been something that's been a hindrance to me and probably a cause of my injury. So I think if I work on my flexibility, it'll help with me staying healthy.
Right, right. So this is Juan Castillo. I'm speaking with Gary Moore Jr. He is a senior here in at Hill House, and he's getting ready to go to college. We're going to talk some more about that, and we're talking about his life and how he grew up actually in a track family, and how he decided that he wanted to throw all the throwing events, and he's done extremely well. And so we're going to talk about that right now. So tell me about how well this season went. Talk to me.
Uh, I think junior year was probably the biggest year for me, development wise, mentally, physically, and on the academic side. But athletically, it was a great year outdoor. I broke a bunch of records, six meet records, and I have the state open record in discus. And this indoor season actually is already off to a great start. I threw a 3 foot PR 2 weeks ago in shot put, so I'm 3 inches off the state record in that. and I have the state record and the weight throw.
Congratulations. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
So now I know your parents are very big on education and they really push you towards that direction. Talk to me about that and how you're able to, really take that along with sports and, be successful. Talk to me.
I think my mom, her being a teacher, she was kind of the one that really pushed heavily on the academic side, always striving me to get A's instead of B's and C's. Even though like we would settle for a B, even though like we know I could get an A. But yeah, my mom was really a big push for me in that area. And then I think eventually I just kind of had that mentality myself that if I want to be, I can't just be Division 1 on the athletic side. It has to be the academic side and athletic side that comes together so I can get to the goal that I want to achieve.
Right, right. So what's your favorite subject?
Science. My
Okay.
mom's a science teacher, so
All right.
it's kind
That's
of
great. That's awesome. So I mean, one of the things that you just mentioned that becomes a hindrance, right? When you're trying to go to college and you want to go to a Division 1 program, even if you got the talent, you've got to have those SAT
yeah.
scores,
Gotta have the
ACT scores.
grades.
Exactly, right. And that's something that you worked very hard at. So when it was time to go to school, you were recruited by a lot of teams, by a lot of schools. Talk to me about that recruitment process, some of the universities that you dealt with.
So I was getting recruited by Stanford, UCLA, Baylor, Kentucky, Duke, Penn State, Iowa State, and there's a few others. But
Right,
I think the recruitment process it helped a lot with my confidence. Because an athlete, every meet isn't going to be the best. So after those tough competitions, I was always nervous, like, oh my gosh, I hope the college coach is still going to talk to me. Like, I hope they're not turned off because I threw bad. But they're always motivating me, just making sure that I kept my head right and I was just ready to move on from the bad and try to move back onto the good.
right,
So it
right.
was it was really fun for me, like going on the official visits and stuff,
Yeah.
and going all over the country. I kind of miss it a little bit, but
That's
yeah, it
awesome.
was real cool.
That's great. So let's talk about the day that you finally decided that you what school you want to go to. Talk to me about that day and the announcement.
Um, the announcement, it was I had actually signed, I think a week or two before that.
Okay.
I think after I went to Baylor, I kind of already had an idea that I was after the visit, I was heavily leaning towards Baylor, but I kind of wanted to keep it back because I still had two more visits after that. It was close. It was really close after that last visit, but I think I saw some things that opened up my eyes to show that Baylor was the obvious choice.
So what about Baylor? I mean, what really nailed it for you?
As I said before, all the schools were like really close. So I think it came down to the little things.
Hmm.
But I think the biggest thing for me was the family feel. Some of the other visits, I felt like a recruit, but I think at Baylor, I felt like I was really a part of the family. Like as soon as I went there and met all the people, we clicked, and I fit in really well there.
Right. That's fantastic. That's great. So now so you're going to Baylor and talk to me about what are your goals now in terms of that first year and have you thought about what you're going to major in?
I'm gonna major in physical therapy, so I think that's kinesiology and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, as far as goals, athletic wise, I have not really thought about it.
Okay.
Because when we go to college, the weight implements change,
Okay.
so it's gonna be a little bit of an adjustment that first year. But I think once I get there and once me and my coach kind of talk and I see how I develop, I'll be able to set a better goal there.
Right. And of course, one day you're looking at the Olympics, right?
Yep. I mean, that's
Can't forget about that.
yeah. That's kind of like the big goal for everyone
It
that
is.
basically does track is like to get there. But I think I just want to wait and see. Like if
Right.
I get the opportunity, I would be so grateful for it. Of course I would take it. But if I don't get there, then I know that I kind of did what I wanted to do with as far as getting the my school paid for to go to college. So
Right.
that
Right.
would be like that's like an added bonus, I
Right.
guess.
Well, listen, man, I want to thank you for coming on board with me today. I think that you're an inspiration to a lot of young people out there, also adults.
Mm,
Just that whole attitude that you have that has really, made us, really notice you, and we're happy for you, happy for the
thank
city
you.
of New Haven to have you. And please come back after that first year to tell us how it went. All right.
Of course, of course. Thank you
There
for
you
having
go.
me.
Absolutely. Juan Castillo with you. This is the electric drum. I know you've been inspired today. I know I have. We will see you next time.